The lights are bothering me.
Sunglasses.
Some sunglasses. Our next book in around the Syrian revolution is called Syria from Reform to Revolt, Volume 2. Syria from Reform to Revolt, Volume 2, Culture, Society, and Religion, and it's edited by Krista Salamandra and Leif Stenberg. It was published in 2015 and features 9 different chapters by different authors, including, of course, an introduction by Salamandra and Stenberg, a chapter by Max Weiss, a chapter by Salamandra, a chapter by Donatella Della Ratta, a chapter by Shayna Silverstein, another by Laura Ruiz de Elvira, a 7th chapter by Andreas Bandak, Thomas Pierre, and the last by Leif Stenberg. Do you want to go ahead and tell us more about the blurb?
The book is by Syracuse University Press, but it is in many ways part of the effort that has been undertaken at University of St. Andrews under Raymond Hinnebusch's tutelage, who actually produced a first version. Unless I am totally getting this wrong, I think that's not true.
Oh, I'm saying I'm not. I don't know. Actually.
Oh, yeah. So I think there was a Syria from Reform to Revolt, Volume 1, and it is a really good collection of various chapters on different aspects of the revolution. It's praised by Syria Wadeen. It's praised by Lisa Wadeen, a professor of political science, University of Chicago. Lisa is also on the Syria page co-editors on Jadaliyya. And Jessica Winiger, associate professor of anthropology, Northwestern University. And she is also part of our knowledge production project on the Anthropology Research Committee with KPP. So the interesting thing about this book is that it actually goes back before the uprising started and looks at the context within which the uprising took place, or basically the background of the uprising and the context within which discontent was spreading, and it addresses various aspects. In the first volume, I think they were looking more at politics and economics, and in this volume they're looking at culture, society, and religion. So it's really worthwhile to take a look at, and I think we have actually reviewed this also at Newton on Jadaliyya. Guys, anything about either of the co-authors or editors and the book?
Just 2 points. That you're correct. My recollection is that Raymond Hinnebusch and Tina Zinti were the co-editors of Volume 1, which focused on political economy and international relations. And one of the great things about the second volume from the table of contents is that it covers a whole range of issues, such as political criticism in Syrian fiction, the Muslim organizations in Assad's Syria, the relationship of the Christian community. So there's a lot of literary, sectarian, and other forms of analysis. So this is really a great a tour, if you will, of the different ways to look at Syrian politics.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I would add is I think what's important about these types of works is that we are starting to move away from looking at the Arab uprisings as their own kind of unit of analysis by taking these individual cases. Because as we saw with some of those earlier works, I mean, a lot of them would try to cover everything. And quite often they would simply, take the case of Egypt and try to apply it everywhere else, just because Egypt was so dominant in those early days. As the case that sort of typified or embodied what people were seeing as the Arab Spring phenomenon. But I think that we're seeing now increasingly people that are just taking these cases individually. We're seeing lots of studies coming out on Syria. We have some, I think, that are also on Yemen and elsewhere. So I think it's good that we're seeing more of the kind of specialists coming to the fore and really we're all benefiting from their deep knowledge and expertise, and especially their ability to contextualize what we're seeing outside of this kind of orbit of this thing called the Arab Spring or the Arab uprisings.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, wow. So Impossible Revolution is listed at $14, and Syria from Reform to Revolt is listed at $24. Is that right? Okay, great.
All right.
That's awesome. Thank you, Haley.
End of the second segment.
End of the second segment.